Today, I'm going to be adding to one of the biggest Valheim bases that I have ever seen or made myself, all inside of a permadeath world where if I die at any point, the entire world gets deleted. And we're going to be adding a whole bunch of stuff to this base. We're going to be making it into our actual base from just this weird stone structure on the mountain, adding commenters' names, adding all sorts of decorations, and adding all sorts of little secrets that you guys can contribute to. Before we get started, I am currently trying to make it to 10,000 subscribers, and if you guys could help me get there, that would mean a lot to me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy. Alright, so whether you guys didn't see the last episode or need a little bit of a recap, I definitely need one. So we're going to go over what we got to start with and what the main goal of this base is. Last time we built a giant spire on top of the biggest mountain I have really ever seen in Valheim, and I didn't really know what I was going to do with it, but I knew I wanted it to be the top of a base. From there, I made like cascading platforms just as best as I could down the entire mountainside, picking the most like slanted mountainside to start with, though I do plan to expand this on every side at some point, maybe. On top of that, I also got groston floors on top of each tier, stone walls down each tier, and kind of just used the mountain to my advantage to make little platforms that would later be turned into rooms. From there, when I finally got to the very bottom where I decided I wanted the entrance to this massive what would be base, I made a checkered floor pattern for a tavern, and that is where we called it good, as that took me 3 days. Now, from there, in between episodes, you guys, and a lot of you guys told me, why not plant a tree to make the tower taller? And while you guys are not necessarily wrong, I don't feel like tearing down the tower, and I probably could have made it taller, but also I don't necessarily know how it would have looked because there would have just been a tree sticking out of this giant spire in the base. That being said, with what we have to start today, I'd like to start with the bottom up, and I don't necessarily plan to build the entire base all at once. I think it would be nice to do a couple of structures, plan what I need to decorate them, do a few episodes of doing that, so maybe I need to go get boss trophies, regular trophies, you know, item stands, a bunch of items, something, whatever I want to decorate each room with, and then we'll kind of decorate, and once we get done decorating, we'll do the next section of building. That way, because I could be stuck building this thing for months and months and months. I want to make this thing absolutely huge, and I know you guys can't see my whole vision for the entire thing, but it is quite large. And so I think the best way to go about that is just to build it in sections throughout different episodes, and once we get done with that section, we'll move on to the next one. But our first starting section is going to be this little tavern area. Also, I will be voicing over part of this video rather than talking while I'm playing. There will be plenty of talking while I'm playing, but building is a little bit different, and I've never really known how to do it on my channel, because just bringing you guys back and showing you progress clips, I might as well just show you the entire thing, but then you guys don't really get the idea of the process of how it happened, so I'm going to voice over and use and show you guys clips while I'm building of what's happening and how it's going and what my thought process is, and then I will also have me talking while I'm playing to give you guys my real-time thoughts of what's happening in the struggles that I'm having, because trust me, there were plenty of them while building this base. The first really big struggle that I was having was not necessarily one of building or engineering, but it was the problem of how large this base was. Getting up and down it if I did not have my rested buff or the right kind of food, which trust me, I really do not have the right kind of food at this point in the playthrough, was really difficult because the mountain that I have chosen to build this on is so steep, plus I've dug down the sides even further, making it even worse. So I needed to get a portal from the top to the bottom where I'd actually be working, just so I could get stuff up and down. Now, obviously, if I come with metal or something like that, I'll have to jump down with the feather cape, which is fine, but I will always pretty much have to teleport back up from this point forward, especially after some of these walls start to go up. It's going to make it damn near impossible to get up this mountainside. Once that little transportation problem was solved, though, there was a slightly bigger one. I wanted to start framing out just the bottom of where the tavern area / welcome area would be with just core wood, because that's what I was planning on building. Kind of a log cabin vibe, even though it wasn't necessarily going to be a log cabin. And I realized that one, I hadn't finished the floor that I said I did last episode, which I really thought I had, but that's okay, which meant we were going to need ash wood, and again, I don't have the best food, so going to the ashlands to get more of that is really not safe, and again, permadeath, if I die to anything, even if it's stupid, that is it. So I gotta be careful when I go to do that. But for right now, the other problem is it's also hanging off the mountainside to a point where it's not going to be equally supported on all sides, which if I want a decent sized roof or anything stacked on top of this, that may be a bit of a problem, and I definitely want at least one of those things. So before framing, I'm gonna have to raise up this edge of the base in this back corner to make sure that I can even get this base this size. Otherwise, I may have to destroy one of the entire edge stair steps going all the way back up the entire thing. Luckily for me, I was able to get that entire back edge raised up to a point where at least the core wood pillars could touch it. Now, if it didn't do that, I could have raised up stone, but I didn't need to. From there, a little bit of stone was added where the Groston stuff is, where there wasn't actually wood. I don't necessarily know how that's going to play into the vibe of the base, or at least this part, but it's there for now. We'll see. It'll at least help support this roof that I'm building. And for the roof, I don't know where I developed that this was a good idea, but I do really like the look of it. A lot of people like to do different amounts of 45-degree angles and 26-degree angles to make a little bit of, like, I don't know, you can make a barn-style roof or a church-style roof or a whole bunch of different styles. For me, one of my favorite ones is to do alternating 45s and 26s. It gives it almost like a little wavy style, and the bigger the roof, the better. It looks so awesome on absolutely giant roofs, which we are probably going to get to do a absolutely giant one later in this video. But for right now, we got this one, we got it put up, and I'm going to do tar roofs. Now, I did note at the time, this was going to be a problem. There is only a set amount of tar in this world. Now, obviously, you can kill growths for it as they respawn, but I don't have very much access to the planes through portals, which means I'm going to have to get creative when it comes to building these roofs, and maybe not these first couple, but if I do this entire base with them, it is going to get difficult at some point to start finding all of that tar. Okay, it's taken me about an hour, but this is the basic layout of what we got going here. I don't know why I necessarily picked to do the tar roofs because it's on the mountain, so I mean, you can see it, but you can't really see it. But this is going to be a little entry kind of tavern area that is going to actually lead into the main base. There's a lot of things I want to do both where this, like, past this up the base and to this leading up to it. But this is the first little area, and you guys can see the actual, like, little checkered ground I have. I need one more piece of ash wood to put over here. We have all of the resources at my disposal to do lighting and all sorts of stuff like that. And I'm trying to think if I want to decorate this video or if I want to build more structure and then decorate at the end. I think I'm going to decorate. Maybe not yet, but I think I am going to decorate this video. So there's going to be, you know, there's going to be a bunch of different decorations and stuff going into here to make it actually look like what I want it to. But what I'm trying to figure out now is how to make this lead into back here. Because, I mean, ideally I want to do, like, I mean, we'll have another layer up here. The idea is to have this go wood across and have pillars go up for another kind of ceiling. But I got to figure out, like, I don't know how the roofs going up this are going to work. If they're just going to be their own separate areas, and if I'm just okay with there just being a wall on the side of this, and what that's all going to look like. But this is the basic area. The next area that I'd like to build would be some sort of staircase, and I want it to be a design that I can carry up the rest of this. Maybe not copy, but, like, have some sort of, you know, continuity between them. So maybe we'll have stone walls on this backside. Let's do this real quick, actually. Maybe we'll do, can I see? Stone walls on this backside. And then maybe we continue, I'm trying to think, like maybe we have like a bar section over here, and then back here further we could have an actual like staircase that goes up. The thing is, I don't, that's wide enough for a nice little staircase. So maybe we have stairs go this way and then up that way, and then maybe we'll do something like that. We'll see. But also, I kind of want to put like little hidden compartments in the base. Not because I need them, but I have and have always thought that it would be cool to somehow, and I know it's definitely possible, to somehow do something like make a world file that you guys can log into and check out that's not actually going to affect my world. And I think it would be cool maybe after the PermaDeath series to try and work with a couple friends to get something like that set up. And then you guys could actually come see this and find the secrets for yourself. So maybe I won't even show all of them. But yeah, so we got this little area set up. It's been about an hour, which is a good amount of time, but nothing crazy. And I think we set this up. Maybe I got some ideas. We'll set this up. We'll get some stairs going. Maybe a tiny bit of furnishing on the inside of this, but nothing too crazy just yet. But the tavern is, at least for now, finished. Now, the staircase was a bit of an odd one. While I did say, yes, this would have to be a very thin staircase, there was a lot of weird spaces and stuff left between it, and it took me quite a long time to actually get the design that I wanted to for this. And from there, I didn't really know what was going to happen after that, like what the next room was going to look like or how it was going to be designed or anything like that. But the idea where this is spaced out is to have a bar on one side and like food on the other side within the tavern, and then in the middle will be the staircase up. Some of them may be like hidden or further like put back staircases, but this one's going to be, as it's the entrance to the base, a pretty main area. And it's also going to be a little bit weird because some of these stairs are like stacked inside the stone walls, which doesn't look terrible, but it means that some of them are like 1.5 walls wide, which means if we were to come down here with like some sorts of decorations or something, it might just fit a little bit funny. But that being said, I did figure it out. Tar roof on this as well, and I did have to go find some more tar solutions because tar roof on this was not going that great. But from there, I actually want to make a giant platform that, with pillars, could technically support 2 floors that connect to each other, and I kind of want to do that all the way up. You see, all of the Groston platforms are on ground level, which means I could technically build a stone level on top of it that the Groston floor would be the floor of, and then I could build a wooden level on top of that that is completely and fully supported by the stone, and even has access to some Groston pillars for structural support, so I can still make that wooden layer really big. But what that would mean was pretty much every single one of these stair steps that I made would have a bottom section and an upper section, and while that might not happen for all of them, I'm definitely going to try it for this first one, because it would add even more room, even more rooms, I guess, to this base, and so much more space to add and decorate as much stuff as I could possibly want. I think the best way to start this, though, is just to do the stone bottom layer, see if I can at least get all sides lined up with the top, make sure everything lines up the way I think it does, and then we can move on to making the big wooden layer on top, placing some Groston pillars, and getting it all sectioned to where it can all, like, actually be a supporting structure. This being on the mountain has made some really difficult and very just odd challenges, and this stone wall, or these stone walls that we're looking at now, are going to be a part of that. Because of the way that the mountain is and the way that I dug down the sides, some of these Groston foundations are actually almost floating, meaning that pillars going all the way up through the entire base or up through a second level may not all necessarily be even close to the same level of support. So I have to find whatever that lowest level of support is and make sure that I can use that all the way up to actually make something like this. And then on top of that, we got to get walls, we got to do core wood to support in between the big pillars, unless we just want a bunch of stone. And then we have to do a second staircase up to this next area. But the idea is to level this with the top area, have the top area, like, I'm trying to think of how to explain this. Stone on the top area that we're building to, and that will be the lower area of that one, and that will line up with the top area of the one we're doing, so we're almost combining layers rather than having 2 layers per section. It's going to be weird. There's going to be a lot of different steps, and I can tell already that it's not going to be as clean as I want it to be. But again, I'm still going to try and at least do 2 layers on the big stairs where all of the big flat, like, surface area can be gained from doing so. Okay, the second big room is almost done, to a point where I can actually pick what I want in it. Now, we need a couple of different things. We need a portal hub, we need a couple, like, community areas for the channel, and we also need, I mean, I don't know if I'll redo my crafting areas over here, but I'm willing to. But that's not the main idea of this base. I know I want it to be main base, but if I didn't have the crafting areas here, I wouldn't be upset by it, so we need to figure out what this first building is going to be. If we need the crafting areas to, like, fill up everywhere else, we may do that, you know, but then we'll have kind of an empty village back at home if I take all of those. We could do a cooking area. We could do all sorts of stuff, but let me bring you guys back. We'll sleep real quick, and we can look at the new area. But, man, has building been so much easier today since it's just, like, interior kind of stuff. It's not structural. It's not trying to figure out the tower. It's been so much nicer, and I forget how much I love building in Valheim till I'm building something like this. But I am still noticing it's so bad, the food situation, and I think eventually I mean, I know it's going to be what the build we do after this, but man, do we need an actual, like, food setup to where we can have constant flow of food. because I would like to do some really good decorations for this base that involve all the boss trophies and stuff, and I'm definitely not doing all the bosses again with this kind of food. And I'm quite worried about doing all the bosses again, period, because that's just kind of terrifying. But let's go back and look at this. Feather cape is on. Go back. We're about... I'm trying to think. I don't know how many of these like layers I want to double up on, because some of these layers are going to have 2 or 3 stories to each layer that was already there. So this is what we're looking at now. And in this, there's going to be a ceiling up here. Okay, I think this is how it's going to work. I'd like to put a floor across this and then stack a ceiling above all of this. So we'll have like... So this layer will stay flat, but then this will go above. But then I'm wondering, could I extend stone walls here and also add another like flat piece up there? I have no clue. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna connect all these. But this doesn't look too bad so far. So here's what we're gonna start doing. First of all, I'll show you guys the stair area that we got made from down below. So whatever entrance area we make, this is what we'll come into. Yes, it's still empty because I've just been building, you know, the main structure components. And then we have a kind of staircase. And then, yeah, this will be our first... I mean, you can obviously have like a balcony kind of thing here. But this will be our first like big room that's not the tavern area. So I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with this. But this is the next piece that we're working on. And we're about a third of the way up the spire already. So like, well, it looks like there's a ton of room and that this spire is gonna be way too damn big. Really, if I fill the space right, it could be... not even enough space, or we could fill it, like we could fill the entire thing, like we could actually put something in every spot in this entire spire. I just gotta be creative with what we're putting everywhere. But we're gonna get this put together. I'll decide how these ceilings are gonna work, because that's gonna be a really big thing of like, that's gonna be a really big decider of how everything looks, and then I'll bring you guys back and show you, because that will be, I mean, it's gonna be, like I said, that's gonna be the main thing of how we start to work on this. Now, getting this flat floor was actually a lot more difficult than I thought it was going to be. I didn't think about how far some of those middle sections that were further away from the wall were actually, like, thinking about foundationally supported, how distant those were from any amount of support. So, I ended up doing core wood plus Groston, which was probably one of the best ideas I could have done. But that Groston would actually be what's going to support part of the roof on the next layer up. Because, again, I want this to be big. And the only way that I'm getting a big roof is if I have some sort of stone support. So I got this up, but the plan is to also just extend some Groston little like nubs out for now, so that way I can tell later what I need to, or where the Groston pillars are for when I go to expand it up. From that though, getting the actual flat floor obviously wasn't that hard once I realized what amount of support I needed and how much wood I needed and all of that stuff. Luckily I already had the Groston, so it wasn't that difficult. I only had to go get a tiny bit more. And then from here, I would have to figure out some sort of staircase situation and a couple other things that we're going to go into actually making this a multi-story thing, because I need to plan that now while I have the roof open before I start putting stuff absolutely everywhere. Though it took me like an hour to get all of this put together, it really wasn't that bad after getting all the stairs put up. It was really easy to walk up and down and stuff again. Did some core wood on the original stair area just to make it look a little bit nicer, and then it was on to doing at least, I was either going to do this room or start building the top area for this room. But for right now, I did realize something that I hadn't realized yet at all, which was that the fog stays inside the buildings, which kind of sucks, and it made it so that if it's storming on the mountain that I don't regret my base choice because I couldn't have built this anywhere else, but it makes it a little bit more difficult to see inside the base, and it makes the base look a little weird if it's storming and during certain points. But I gotta figure out what I want to do down here. I'm thinking maybe portal room, maybe trophy room. We could put crafting down here. We could put top community members or commenters down here. I could put whatever I want down here. But this is a big open area with a whole bunch of stone wall that needs to be filled. And I don't just want to throw random banners everywhere. I want it to be meaningful stuff for the series. But for now, we got stairs. We got a little wooden wall to cover the stairs. These ones are a little more hidden. And we have an area up to that top floor where we're going to have to start working on a bit of engineering, because this is going to be wide no matter which way I put the roof. And if I put it, I think at a minimum, it's going to be like 10 to 12 walls, or I guess like ceilings across, no matter which way I do it. So I'm going to need quite a bit of support, and while these Groston pillars are going to help, they're not going to make it all the way to the ceiling. So now I get to figure out how that's going to work, and how that's going to tie into me getting to the next level, because these next couple levels are so short that I may skip a couple of them, meaning I would need a staircase almost as high as the roof for this next section of the base. Okay, day 382, about to be 383, and the last room that I'm probably going to build for today's episode is going to be done. So my two options were build the entire structure out and then build all of the decoration next episode. But the decorations are going to take a lot of episodes, and they're going to be a lot of different things. So I figured, why not do part of it, and then do part of the decoration, and then next episode we can pick one of the rooms that are going to take a bit longer to decorate with like some trophies and stuff, and we can do that one. So I think this room is going to be the biggest one, and I think it's going to be the most decorated one. I think it's going to take the longest to decorate. So I figure I get the structure done, and then we can actually fill out this room, which is absolutely ginormous, and use it. So we're looking at... Also, this is one of 2 stories for this room. This room also has this down here. What I'm looking at for this room, somewhere along the lines, don't know where yet, don't know how it'll fit or how it'll look or any of that. I want to have every trophy in the game, which we're still missing a few. But we do have most of them. Now, how many of them have I kept in places? I'm not necessarily sure. But that means we're going to have to do all the bosses again. And Fader's going to be difficult for that, but, you know, we'll figure it out. And so will Queen. We got a whole bunch of stuff along that. We still need Seeker Soul, or what are we missing here? Seeker, y'all. Diverger Trophy is what we're missing here. We're still missing a few along this. We're missing the Warlock Trophy and the... What is it? And the Twitcher Trophy. Yep, we're missing that one. We're missing a whole bunch. But we should slowly be able, I think one of these episodes, to go out and collect every single trophy in the game. Put it up here. Probably put our Flaming Sword up alongside with it. Maybe on this wooden area. And have this as kind of a reminder of everything that we've done progression-wise in the series. Now, for the much cooler part, in my opinion, I would love to take this room up here. Absolutely giant. Do all sorts of decorations, multiple stories, little outcroppings in the roof for people, like chairs and stuff. Make this the main focus of this entire base besides the giant tower in the background. Make this connect with these multiple layers above, and then maybe we'll have one more big room on top of this that kind of meets up with the top layer. And I think in here, I'm going to put some of the people who have supported the channel from, like, just on signs. Maybe, maybe if I see those people comment, I'll give them an option to put something, like, under their, you know, under their, like, that I can build under them. But for right now, the people who have supported the channel the most, people who have been supportive since the beginning, and just a whole bunch of people who I always notice commenting in the community, all around this. And I don't want it to be exclusive. Like, I don't want it to be like, oh, we got the top 5 people. I want to put like 100 people in here. And obviously the people who have been here the longest will get a little bit, like, you know, they'll get a little bit more of a thing. But I would like to fit as many of those in here as I can, alongside a bunch of other decorations. I don't want it to just be a name room. I want it to be something that I actually use. So I think doing names and stuff on the pillars, on the walls, and then having, maybe we could do portals down here. We can do all sorts of different stuff, but I want to just find something. I want to put community names in part of this build, and I think this is a good room for it. Alongside that, I wanted the trophies and stuff in one of these builds, and I think under this would be a decent room for it. But this is like the really big structure, and if I do decide that either of those are happening, that's all of the trophies in the game, all of the bosses killed again, which is... I'm going to have to kill all the bosses at least 2 more times, which is insane, but that's okay. And, like, I'm going to have to go find community members' names. I'm going to have to actually get all the fine wood and nails and stuff to decorate this well. And I think that's what I want to do with this. And I want it to be compact and kind of small. I know it's really big and open right now, but I'd love to put as many little details in it as I possibly can, because little details are what I need to get better at with building. That being said, this is the last like piece of the structure we're going to build for today. So I'm going to get it done, and then we're going to go start back from the bottom again, start decorating the tavern that's down there, the entryway, maybe build some stairs up to the entryway, start planning what's going to go in this room, because that's going to be what we do next episode. And we could maybe even start it today. If I have a bunch of extra time, if the video is really short, then I can go start doing trophies and stuff like that and start getting some stuff into a chest to like organize it. But this is the insanity that is going to be the main, pretty sure the main room of this base. And the one above it, if I do another big room up further, will probably be like crafting stations or something else if I do want them at this base. But I don't know. I feel like this is just going to be so awesome. So this is what we got so far. Like I said, we got down here. We have, this connects to these stairs, which have their own little kind of thing. Their own little railings. Right now, one of my portals is back here, but like all these little like tiny areas, I just want to hide stuff in and do like cool little stuff. And then we still have the tavern. This is becoming one of my favorite builds. It still has such a long way to go, and it is always going to have the possibility to get better. I really have enjoyed making this one, and I think this is going to be by far my favorite build that I've ever built in Valheim. Now this section is really where tar became a problem. This is what I was talking about. A much bigger piece of the building, and again, not that much access to it because I just don't have that many portals in the plains, and the couple that I do, I've already gotten the tar from. Luckily, I was able to find enough for all of this, though I am quickly running out of tar pits, and I am going to need to find, for the future of this base, I'm definitely going to need to get some more portals moving around the plains areas that I have unlocked, and a couple areas that I know are plains even though I haven't been. On top of that, though, I picked the same kind of wavy structure, 45-26, 45-26, and the Groston pillars made it a lot higher than I thought I was going to, so I actually purposely picked to do this roof the long way, and the wider way, and make it like as epic as I could. And I have a plan for the stairs, but we got to get the roof up first and see how the support level is. And then I think this is actually going to extend kind of over the next 2 layers, just because I don't necessarily have anything for those planned out, and they're only one floor deep. So I think the best thing to do would be to add like little balconies and stuff up on top of this, and then just leave them like, I don't know, we could put little thrones, we could do a little comfort area. Again, we can fill it with whatever I want to fill it with, but as far as what the structure is going to encompass, I figured these 2 little like floors don't need their entire own area and ceiling. They can just kind of get sucked in with these ones, and I'll continue to do that up because I see at least, I think, 2 more platforms up the structure that are going to be full big platforms. But with that being said, I'm going to get some tar, get some wood, continue this the exact same way that it is, it's 45-26 structure, and get it all the way built, and then we'll start worrying about the stairs and stuff, and then we'll get to do decoration. But I have a lot of ideas for decoration, and so far what I'm kind of noticing is that I'm not going to get it done this episode. As much as I love and want to do all of the different little fine details of this, I don't think I'm going to get to, because I'm going to need so much food and so much different stuff to find all of the little pieces that I want and decorate this as perfectly as I'd like to, which we'll talk about what the solution to that is going to be in a little bit, but it's definitely going to be a hell of a process to get all of this space filled. Okay, it's great. The roof is almost done. However, dude, I'm like running out of tar. This is like, I'm looking, I think I have one more over here and one more right here. And that's, there may be one more of this hill as well. But I've cleared like 7 tar pits, and I'm just now clearing this one as well. Holy crap. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. I'm just worried about future builds, or even the future of this build when I need more tar. I'm actually going to have to go find more plains just for the purpose of tar. That's actually going to become probably my lightest, or like my most needed resource. And I thought, like, I don't know, I wanted to use black marble for this build, but I really just didn't want to go get it because I thought it was just going to be a pain to do something this big in black marble. But I'm learning that tar also is not that easy. However, like I said, the roof is almost done, so I'm still just going to clean it up and finish it, but man, is this area starting to look nice. Okay, officially, the structure is done. So let's head down to the bottom and look at what's been built today. I know it hasn't been a whole lot of talking, it's been just more a bunch of chickens, but we're about to get to more of the decorative part, which is going to be a lot less of that, because there's going to be a lot less time between it. So, we have the tavern down here, which could use a little bit of structural elements, but otherwise looks pretty nice. This is going to be the first thing that I decorate. And then this is a little stairwell that we obviously saw previously. I need to put the walls up to here a little bit, maybe hang some like banners on it or something, and we'll hide maybe some little chests back there or something like that, but nothing too crazy. Head up the stairwell, kind of like a little balcony, looks over the first tavern, and we have the bottom floor of the main building, which is going to be, I think, stone portals are going to go down here just because this is a big stone area, and I feel like they can fit. Haven't actually checked if they can fit. Oh yeah, they can. So we could fit, this could be the stone portal area, and then on these pillars we're going to have some decorations, and possibly think about doing the main, like, trophy wall over here, which is going to be a different episode for decoration because that's going to take forever to get. Then we have the main building. Now, this is going to be pretty much as much history of the series as I can pack into everything. I would ideally like to get, one of the ideas that I thought of was armor stands. Let's see. So we'd put like an armor stand here, and then above it, or an armor stand here, say we'd put troll hide on it, and a bronze axe or a fine wood bow. Above it, we put the elder trophy. And then, so I want to go back through the original movie, watch whatever I had for each individual boss, and then put that boss's head above it, which means we're actually going to have to do all of the bosses 2 more times. So, I want to do that. That's going to, like, kind of record the history of how the series went. Again, community members and stuff on these walls because we have so much room in here and there's so many different things. And then maybe, like, some tables or, like, some dining hall-esque stuff. I just want it to be filled with decoration and stuff. I want it to not be empty. And then up here, currently, we are building this stair set. And this can be, obviously, another little balcony. And this is going to come up here. And this is going to be the next level, which will probably be, this will probably be a stairwell with some small, like some other small rooms like hidden like down here and stuff. But there's so many little tiny areas that we can hide little things or put little things and put portals and all of that. There may be portals down here below. I have no clue. But like, this has just been, I mean, this is such, we have so much room to build whatever I want. The only thing I have been thinking about is possibly putting wood over these like that. It looks way better on the Groston. It makes me kind of sad because the Groston was, I don't know, expensive as hell to make. So we'll think about that. But I just don't really like the stone peeking up through it, even though that's the way that I had to spend a bunch of extra time to build it like, so. But the main structure is done. So I'm going to go grab fine wood and a bunch of fermenters and some bronze, which is actually going to be the first time I've had to get metal in a while. And we're going to start doing the tavern, making it into an actual tavern, maybe making a little entryway. I have a plan for the entryway right about here. But if I go back down here, and we'll get a free fly cam at the end of this just to see what the entire thing looks like and to give me a chance to get a thumbnail. That is what we're looking at. Look at that. That is insane, especially if you know that that back tower is connected to this. And we still have so much more to do after this, so let's get this decorated. Let's actually start to turn this into something, as this is actually going to become our main base for the rest of probably entirety of this like playthrough existing. So we're gonna get this set up. I think we're gonna do a bar around here, or maybe a bar on both sides. I saw, oh god, I need to figure out who it was. I saw someone, I mean, I've seen a few people that do it, but I've seen some really good designs for like putting meads in the background on shelves and stuff like that. And because this is stone in the background, I should be able to do that really well because I need crystal for it. And then we'll make a bar, and we'll make chairs, and we'll make tables, and we'll make fires, and we'll make rugs and benches and vases and all of the different stuff that I can possibly get. Also, as I updated today, I have the Yule tree, which means that I need to go build one of these back at base in that comfort area. But whenever we build a comfort area here, we need to kind of get to it quickly because I can put the Yule tree down, and by summertime I can put the maypole down, and we'll actually have a complete comfort area on this playthrough, which is kind of nice. But all right, I'm gonna go start. This feels so nice to have this first structures done. It looks so sick from outside, and it's gonna look so much better because we're gonna start putting lighting and all sorts of stuff inside of this to where we actually have an amazing looking base made out of this insane structure. Okay, the bar is coming along very lightly. We're working on it. Something that I have never really ran into before. So this is like, I need to continue this out. We need one more, I want a one wide here so that it's just a one We can come back along this. I really like this crystal cross kind of thing going on. I really wanted big plates of shit on these tables. I've never found the bog witch on this server, on this map, which means I don't have the big, like, meals that you can put out. So I'm going to have to go find her at some point, but for now I'm just going to stack a whole bunch of stuff on these item stands. And then I really want to put, like, let's see. Actually, I can make an example of this right now with one of these item stands. I would really like to do, I don't know if I'll do it on the center of all of them or on the points of all of them. We'll do something like that. Or maybe like, oh, you can't hang it on the middle there. Something like this is, I would like to, oh, you can't attach this item. Why? Oh, why? Oh, that's, okay. That was a whole bunch of misclicks in a row. What else did I whack? Okay. Break this. I need to figure out some way to put potions on this. Like that. And then something like that. I would like to hang a bunch of those everywhere as like little shelves to have behind the bar. Put a whole bunch of potions around here. The problem is I don't have a lot of potions, actually. Do not have a whole bunch of meads. So I'm probably going to have to make fermenters now. But they may, the actual meads themselves may not be done until next episode, which is kind of sucks. Can I put this right there? Yes, I can. All right, we'll figure out how to orient those and stuff later. But this is what the bar is going to look like. I really wish it wasn't so foggy even when I'm inside, but I did build on a mountain, so that's how that's going to go. Grab some core wood and kind of do some stuff here, make some more designs on this wall, and then... yeah, we're going to need a bunch of core wood. But I think the rest of in here is just going to be tables, maybe some fires, and, I don't know, maybe we'll make like a little fireplace kind of area with like a hot tub, just because this is the, you know, this is the tavern entry of this very cold area. But, yeah, I'm kind of sad about the really big plates, the really big platters, because they look really nice. But now instead I'm going to have to make a whole bunch of random foods and put them there instead, which is fine for now, but I really like it. Also, down here I've decided... we're putting stone portals. We're going to put stone portals on this back wall. I know I have 3 main ones. If I get a 4th one, I can put it... yeah, because I can do... like... 1, 2, 3, like that. Those can be our main 3 stone portals. Not saying that we can't have more other places, but that's where our 3 main ones will be. And then we'll put... let me think. We'll have the trophy wall here. Put some little decorations going up this, and then this will be the big area that I talked about, which I have not really worked on yet, but now I gotta go worry about how I'm gonna get all these potions and stuff made. And I think those little, like, closet small areas where the portals are currently at, back here behind these, I think that's where I'm going to put the fermenters. I may put actual, I may see if I can, like, stack them, so I could, like, make an actual, like, 3 tall closet of fermenters with a whole bunch of them in here. That way I could, I mean, it'd look cool, but it'd also be functional for a bunch of meads. So we'll see what happens with that. But this is the way it's coming along. I just need to figure out a way to clear this kind of smoky feeling that comes with it. Okay, it's been a fairly short video, but I feel like I have a lot of reasons that we're actually going to divert from base construction for a little bit, and we're going to wait till next episode to do it. Let me bring you guys back. Literally not that much has changed, because I'm realizing if I want to do this in the right amount of detail, I'm going to need other things. So we're going to talk about that here in just a second, but let me go put the final touch on the base for the day. Now, do I need a forge for this? I do. So let's drop this tar. I don't want to. Yeah, we'll drop the tar. Drop the tar, and we'll talk about the final touches and everything that's going to go into this. I want to get some lighting done so I can take a really cool picture. But for now, there's going to be a couple things that I want. So I'll talk to you guys about it while I'm doing this, actually. The main thing that I really, really want is I want, I mean, I don't know. I want a bunch of boss heads. I want a bunch of foods. So I need to find the big 3 things that I need. As I need to find the Bog Witch. I need to do the bosses all again a few different times. And I also want to get a farm going. Now, I've talked about doing all of those things. And I think the trophy one for the trophy room, as well as the Bog Witch would probably happen around the same time, just because if I'm traveling around all that much, I should be able to find the Bog Witch. But, you know, there's a chance I don't as well. And then I also have talked about the farm, and I feel like for exploring and doing all the bosses and all the trophy stuff, I'm going to need that farm to make the right amount of food. Now, it may not be the full amount of farm that I'd like it to be, but it'd still be way better than what I'm sitting at now. There's a few small things that I have plans for, but they're just, I don't know. So, like, for the upstairs, if I want to kill all the bosses, put my armor above them, that means I need to remake all the armor sets. That means, oh, unless I still have some of them. That means I need to go kill all the bosses again. For the trophy wall, I gotta kill all the bosses again. Get all of my trophies together, like all of the Hilder's Quest ones, and put them on this wall. And then for down here, we're gonna need a farm as well as the Bog Witch to do what I want to do on these tables. Now, I may be able to do it slightly differently, but I just still don't think it would look nearly as good if I did it that way on the table. So we'll see, but I would like to try out the Bog Witch stuff first. Even these potions back here, I'd like to have access to more potions. But the one thing that I definitely and absolutely want to do, I think it's going to become the staple of these bases, is I would like to put one of these right there. Now, I may break the spots above it. Yeah, like that. Now, if you guys don't know, the same or very similar diamond shape with a blue, the other one's a blue torch, is what marks the Ashlands base. And I kind of want to put this as a little staple in all the bases. But I think, I mean, other than adding some little planks around the edge of this, adding a couple small details, adding some torches, I think that's probably going to be it for today. Now, the other thing that I want to talk about, I'm not going to do it today because I'm going to spend some time. YouTube does not have the same features I thought it did. I thought I could go back and look at top commenters over time, and I can't. So, what I can do, I know there's a few people specifically. A few people that I know have supported me literally from day one, day zero, like have been here. I'm going to put their names on these tables, right? It's going to say, like, reserved for, and then them. And we'll put some chairs around the tables, put some chairs around the fireplace. We'll make this look nice. We'll put little banisters on top of these, and we'll make another design similar to that over there on this. And that will be this room. We'll put food on the tables, and we'll probably do something over here, but I don't know what yet. I'm thinking about a Christmas display, just because it's almost Christmas time, with, like, a Yule tree and a bunch of presents. Or I could do a hot tub area. Or I could do both. I could do both of those. But we'll do that. We'll come up here. I actually have the wood to finish this area right now. We're going to put these all the way up to the top. And then inside of these will be kind of shelf versions of fermenters. That is going to help us. We'll get those set up early, either next episode or while we're doing the farm or at some point. And those will be... I mean, they'll be for actual fermenting, but they'll make it so all that stuff behind the bar that I want to build will be a lot easier to build because I'll have way more facilities for that. And then, I'm trying to think. Upstairs, yeah, we're going to do the boss display. And then I have a bunch of, like, names that people have given me for animals that I'm going to use this series. I have base ideas that I've either used in this or have used for other people. I'd like to, anytime that I use something from the comments, I'd like to leave spaces up here to give... you know, a bit of story and context to them using it. So maybe I'll put their names on a wall or something like that. All the stone portals from all of the bases are down here. So that one's to the Ashlands. That one's to an iron one that we needed at some point. And then this one's back to our village base. And we also at some point are going to need to rebuild every crafting station in the game. And we'll put those somewhere over there. Somewhere up further. But then this is going to be the portal area. Portal area with the display, with people's names, with a nice big area, like decorative area in the middle. For right now, I'm just going to add some lighting. We're going to get a screenshot, and that's probably going to be it for today. The other reason is I think I should make these shorter for two reasons. One, I plan to kind of do an episode like this. Maybe not on just Valheim. I want to get back to Enshrouded, and I found a new game you guys are going to hear about tomorrow. But I would like to do some sort of, maybe not necessarily daily, but as close to daily as I can get for the rest of December. So I know a lot of people are off work, a lot of people are off school, and a lot of people have extra time during December, and not everybody has a family to hang out with. So you know what, if you guys want to hang out here, hang out here. But you guys will have a bunch of content to watch. I'd like to do pretty much daily stuff though, and for that to happen, I'm gonna need stuff to do. I'm gonna need content. So I think we're gonna build this base as well as do a couple of other similar kind of bases over the course of December. So let's see, we got this. Put the last torch here. I mean, surely we can get our picture now, right? So, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do free fly. We're gonna get our picture for the day. It's nice and clear. It's a little snowy. I don't like how unbalanced the hearth is, but that's okay. And this is going to be the actual picture that I use for the thumbnail, probably. So. Holy shit. I mean, it's been a process. Like I said, I know it's been a shorter video for you guys, but I've been probably building for like 10 hours. It's been kind of insane. We're almost at day 400. I think next time we're going to do the farm build because we need it for everything else. And we're going to start gearing up. How do I... One second. Apologize. I gotta figure out how to get back to my character. There we go. I gotta figure out how to get back to, like, all of the ashlands and stuff. Kind of get back in that, like... Kind of get back in that headspace. Get back used to being in dangerous situations. Gotta rebuild all the armor. There's gonna be a whole bunch of, like, building and stuff. But it's gonna mean a lot of exploration. We're gonna look for the Bog Witch. We're gonna do the trophy one. You guys can let me know which one of those things you want to see the most. Because I plan to do all of them. But next episode's gonna be, you know, I've got to pick one thing to do. We're gonna get this entire thing built out into a full base. But we got the main structure of what we're gonna work on for the foreseeable future right now. Like I said, if you guys have any suggestions for the build, you want to see anything, you want me to put your name in a funny spot on the build, I would probably be more than happy to, or put like a joke or something. I don't know. You guys can literally write any suggestion. I'll probably use it. There's so much space in this base, and I may regret saying this, but this is one side of 4. Because there's still 4 other sides of that tower. So I can hide all sorts of shit in here. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I do truly hope you enjoyed. Please let me know if you guys have anything at all. As I mentioned at the beginning, I'm currently trying to make it to 10,000 subscribers, and I'm going to be posting pretty much every day or as often as I can throughout the month of December and moving past that. So if you guys want to see that, make sure to subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do truly hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.